Hello and welcome to Rolling with Two. This game is way too small. Sarah, fix this.
Fix it?
Fix it.
All right, I think we can fix it. And that makes it a little bit better.
Okay, now it's a table hog. All right, welcome to Rolling with Two. I'm Will, and with me as always is the one who has teeny tiny tables for her teeny tiny games.
Sarah.
And today we're doing a two-player perspective and accessibility for Cat Sudoku Summer Festival. Sarah, tell us a bit about this game.
All right. On your turn, you will attempt to place one or more cards in a 3x3 grid, adhering to the restrictions that each number and color must not repeat in its row or column. Turn points at the end of the game. Players will need to place cards in their designated area. When the game ends, players will score points based on the number of cards that are in their zone and minus the unplaced reserve cards. And then whoever has the most points will win the game. All right, Will. So how does the game change for two players?
So for two players, you will take out the purple suit. You will not play with any of those cards.
Put them aside.
And put them aside.
Then otherwise, where your scoring zone is in the 3x3 grid depends on your player count.
Yes.
Left and right sides for two players. Three players, there's three columns. And then four players, you get all the way around. So someone gets the top row, bottom row, left side, right side kind of thing.
So depending on where you're sitting, that can get a little bit fuzzy. So right before you start the game, make sure each player knows where their scoring zone is.
Yes.
Because that's going to be very important to them.
Exactly.
Those are the changes.
Yep. So at the two-player count, it's kind of a mixed thing, both good and bad, depending on your type of player, and that is it is very strategic and competitive at the two-player count because it's really head-to-head.
The most strategic and most competitive.
Right. Higher player counts is going to be a little more chaotic and crazy. So whether that's a good thing or a bad thing really depends on the two players playing the game.
Yeah, because once you start introducing, especially like the four-player, you're even having overlapping scoring zones.
Right.
And then it really comes crazy because just like random people are coming in and just adding stuff and walking away. And you're like, why'd you give them a point? Like, well, because it meant something to them or not.
Right. Yeah, because the corners will count for two people.
Yeah, so the chaos just goes crazy the more players you add in.
Right.
But more strategic, which can be very stressful at the two-player count.
Yes, it can be very tense situation. So now the nice thing is that means at a two-player count, you will have more impact on the board and more control because there will actually be the middle column will not score for anybody. So sometimes, worst case scenario, if you can't give yourself a point and you're trying to avoid giving your opponent a point, if you can find a place in the middle column, you can put it there and it avoids you getting negative points at the end of the game. So it's effectively like getting positive points because it's 1 point per card in your zone, but then it's negative 3 points for any card in your reserve. So
and that's always been Sarah's biggest downfall is she's like, I don't want to give you a point, even though it meant negative 3 points if she kept the card.
Yeah, let's just say I haven't won this one yet.
Yeah.
So
she has come out of this game with negative points.
I have. Okay, that's it for the two-player experience. On to accessibility. It's a square box. There are square cards in there. They're kind of hard to shuffle. So the good news is there's not that many, so you could just lay them out into like stacks, and then I do that method sometime when you don't have a lot of cards, so you can't shuffle them.
I throw them on the table and then
you could do that too. Just spread them all out and start picking them up randomly. That could shuffle them just as well.
Of course, if you do it that way, then you come into the other problem with square cards is, well, then the orientation shifts all over the place.
True. You have 4 different ways that card could be oriented. Now, the good news is the number and icon, I believe, are on both the top and the bottom. So on the bottom, they're upside down, so you can see them the other way. The downside is the ability or the triggering effect is only on the bottom, and it's only written one way.
Yeah.
So speaking of that, cognitive overload, this is going to be difficult for people like me because there are a lot of restrictions you have to keep in mind. And then an extra effect you are trying to keep in mind.
Yes. And trying to keep in mind with the other cards you're trying to get rid of at the same time.
Right, because you start with reserve cards, which means you already start with negative points.
Yes, -9 points, I believe.
Yeah, which explains my -6 in one game.
Yeah. So all these things layer on top of each other that Sarah then lost sight of the first thing that she had to keep in mind.
Right.
Because she got all the way down to the very probable, if I can do this and this and this. And then on top of that, you also have to remember that as you play a card, the host goes over it so that you can't play on top of that.
I think that was one of the hardest things to remember, was to keep moving that host token, because I'd be like, oh, I just played this card and I have enough tokens to play a second card that will go right on top. No, I can't put it on top because the host goes there.
Yeah.
So much for combos. So that doesn't work. Though I think those are all the challenges.
Yes, that is it.
So what it does well is it does great on the accessibility for color blindness. Now, we do have to be transparent here. That's because we provided advice on the prototype.
And they listened.
And Tate Wu, who's the designer, listened to us. In fact, he's been asking for our feedback for a lot of his games on how to make his games more visually accessible. So there are clear numbers, and there's a symbol that represent the
color.
The color. The text is all easy to read. Now there is a lot going on the small card, so that is still sometimes a bit challenging. But as you play the game more, you will learn those, and in the end, there's numbers 1 through 9, and those numbers correspond to the ability.
Yes. Threes always want to be in the corner.
Right.
And things like that.
Yeah. So, and then, the colors, you'll just get used to that over time. So that's really good there. Good font also. The great thing also is it's all open information. And we really appreciate the small play area, because we've had small games, well, maybe not this small, but we've had small games that just sprawl all over the table. And in this one, you're going to make a 3x3 grid, and then you need a small space in front of you for some cards and tokens. And that's it.
Yeah.
Okay, conclusion.
For 2 players, would you recommend?
It's mostly yes. I mean, I think most people at a 2-player count are going to enjoy it, unless you really don't like that head-to-head, competitive, strategic.
Which you have issues with.
I have challenges. I have challenges with a lot of things. This one is a bit challenging for me. So that's why it's a mostly yes. I think a lot of people are going to enjoy it at 2 players.
Yeah, check out our review video where we talk about our opinions to see if it's your vibe.
Right. That's really,
important.
going to be it.
All right, accessibility.
Yes, he did a great job. I'm very happy he listened to our feedback, and it looks great.
Yeah, and the cute thing is, he gave us a gift of the all-in, and it has even little fishes.
Right.
And shaped host cats.
Yeah, I think the standard edition just has cubes. It may still have that host token.
Yeah,
I think that is still standard. But we also got a play mat and I think enamel pin and sticker and a bag, like a little tote bag to put it all in. So that was a really nice thank you gift for us. I appreciate it.
Yeah, but the all-in helps even add a little bit of extra of that player feel of something to play with while you're waiting on your turn.
Agreed. All right.
And Sarah,
yes.
The weirdest thing about this game to me is the cat theme. And I know it's because that's Tate's thing.
Yeah, he does everything cat.
And this game doesn't need a theme.
No, because it's Sudoku.
Yes. But is there anything that you can think of that would make it feel even more cat-like?
More cat-like?
Because, that's just... He went with a theme, and he stuck with it.
I mean, the cats are eating fish. I don't know. What would you do? I have no clue.
The only thing I could think of is in the host token, instead of how it was, I wanted it to kind of be a paw. In other words, the cat put its paw on there, stopping you from playing.
That actually would have reminded me a little bit better, probably, than, I mean, the cute cat holding a fish in its mouth. Well, it's cute.
Yes.
But yeah, having an actual just cat paw print that probably,
Stop.
yeah, stop. Don't play on this card. That would have actually made more sense.
Oh, there you go.
There you go.
Maybe in his next game.
Yeah.
All right, and why would you ever roll with just one when you can be
Rolling with two?
If you have any questions, comments, or concerns, you can reach out to us on the various social media platforms at
Rolling with Two, that's TWO. We're on Blue Sky, Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. For Discord, we have a channel on Tabletop Express. Check the show notes for the invite link.
If you have time, check out the other content Nanaman has found for you, because remember, he's rolling with you.